H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Chop, the nation's number one urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live and on cue. Jimmy, watch this, y'all. Coming to you live from Houston, Texas. But we're broadcasting all over the world via Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And it's a great, great day. It's a sad day, but it's still a great day. When I finish sharing with you, you're gonna understand why it's a great day. Um, Jimmy, before we go anywhere, I like to start off the show all the time recognizing our first five, our starting five. They are the first five people who signed up to the Chop Shop feed via YouTube or Facebook, and they all accumulated on the screen right here in front of me. And today they are Melvin Dews, Sonia Billingsley, that is Moody, Rod Wells, Kevin Lewis. Those are the starting five, and our sixth woman of the day happened to be Kim Jackson. Kim Jackson in the building. But I see you out there, Dale. I see you out there, Mindy. I see you, Alex. I see you, Daryl Barnes. I see all of y'all. Y'all having fun. I see you. Thank you. Paul Miranda said he loved the background pick. The background pick is a very important pick. Picture for me. I, uh, uh, I looked through a lot of stuff about Big E, Dallas Showtime, Dallas, a young man who passed away yesterday. Soon after the show, I get a couple of calls, and I know Jimmy got some stuff, but I saw some of the posts, y'all, and I want to share this with you. I saw some of the posts, and I kept seeing people. They said Big E, one of the realest to ever do it. We lost a real one. Today, sad news: the grassroots, Dallas State in Texas. Rest in P, Big E. I kept seeing a whole lot of names. I didn't know he coached Brian Burden. I didn't know. I just know of him as a guy who always supported everybody's events. That's how I know him as. I met him a long time ago when I with Terrell Henderson and Alan Branch. We were part of the franchise All Stars, and we used to always go up to Dallas. You gotta understand, I was new in this. I didn't know why the hell we was going to Dallas. I know now, but we always take a trip up to Dallas because we wanted to support Tony Johnson. We wanted to support Big E. We wanted to support Jazzy. Those guys are pillars in that community up there. And shout out to this guy. I didn't know him well as Jimmy. He always come to Jimmy's events. I mean, he always come, and with the help of Stacy Houston, him and I got together and got each other phone in the last year. Phone numbers. We used to see each other, but like I said, with the help of Stacy Houston, he put us together, and I got a chance to know him a little bit better. But Jimmy, I mean, it's like I said, it's a great day, but he's in a better place, and I'll share a little bit about that with you later. Jimmy, you got anything to say about the big fella?
Yeah, man, that was a rough one, and Irvin, Big E Davis. He's a lot of the guys. Relationships. You sometimes benefit the opportunity to extend a relationship outside of the gymnasium, and Big E. Uh, man, I have so many stories of Big E, but I'm going to invite you guys to share some of your some of your fondest memories of Irvin Big E Davis. Um, I give you guys one. I give you two of them, but one I give you later on. But this one here, this was back. A new Big E. It was only it's two different types of relationships. Like I say, in the basketball community, somebody from being in the gyms and being at the games, like you just mentioned how to just describe. But then often you can go outside of the court and you go into the living room or into the house, or you traveling or you kicking it, and then it's the relationship has a chance to cultivate. Well, this particular year we was at the state tournament before social media, and it was Snoop Johnson's brother, right, Rodney. Me, him, and Big E, we were hanging out on 6th Street. So we going to this place on 6th Street. One of them little ball. We ball hopping, whatever. This 15 years ago, easy. So we get to the one place. Now, Snoop's brother, he has a slick, creative, that's what they call a slick tongue. He's a slick talker, like Chris Walker, you know? And so Big E is us three. And so we told the people, I went, back then I was trying to talk away inside any bar, Adam. So I go.
Oh, you ain't lying. Hold on, y'all. He ain't lying. He gonna try to talk his way, but keep going. Come on.
So I go tell the manager that now Big E them don't really know what's going on. You say, hold on, let me go talk real quick. So I go tell the manager that Big E and Rodney Johnson, they both they professional football players. And Big E, and we can't, I gotta let them in, but they can't just sit anywhere. And the dude peeked out and saw Big E out there, and he's sweating a little bit. It's nighttime.
Yeah.
And they went inside and they set up a table. They didn't just set us a table up. The bar hopping, DJ jumping. They put a table right next to the DJ booth on the stage. And Big E walking, he just saw that walk.
Like he was
like an NFL player. So the next thing you know, Rodney took off with it. He told him he was number 81 for the Phoenix Cardinals at the time. And Big E just sitting there. And he ain't saying that. I mean, it was fun. They brought us a bottle. That was the first experience of Big E. We got out of the club. He looked over at Rodney and said, "Look, man. Look.
Wow.
You right now, you the star. I'm the damn star. Next time we go into the bar, get up in there. I'm the star. In other words, you make it seem like I'm just a rookie. Yeah. Oh, that was the fun. It was and we took it on from there, man. Big E, man, he would come to Houston every year.
Yes.
For the spring icebreaker.
And he came back for Rick's stuff. He always came back for Rick's event.
Oh, absolutely. Rick Nelson was hurt. He called yesterday, man, was devastated upon learning the news, as most people were. One thing, like I said, Big E, he found a way to navigate through the muddy waters of grassroots basketball without getting trapped, without becoming a sucker for it. Meaning that he was a sucker for Oak Cliff, or for those kids that fed primarily in the Dallas Kimball. I don't think there was ever a Dallas Showtime team that did not have at least one Dallas Kimball night on the roster. You guys may be able to look that up if you want to, but I don't remember it ever being a Dallas Showtime 17U team without a Dallas Kimball night on the roster. Nick Smith, who's the current head coach at Dallas Kimball right now, he was at Dallas Pinkston, I think, back at the time when I met him. And he and Snoop and Big E, they formed that Dallas Showtime. And as they went on, and with their day jobs, Big E took on the task and kept going with it, man. And those teams would compete. They would always be the measuring stick for every non-sneaker sponsored program in not just DFW, but in Texas. Dallas Showtime would be the measuring stick, meaning that people would go, and that's Nick Smith. You can see on the photo right over my shoulder with his arms folded. That's the current head coach of Dallas Kimball. And Nick Smith, man, I know this is tough because Big E was down with the Kimball Knights. And you got to realize, I don't think many of you probably have taken the time to reflect and think about just how hard it is to maintain one of those teams that is very, very urbanized, meaning with the talent coming from a certain sect of the community, the majority of the talent that is. It's not easy to make that stuff happen. But one thing about Dallas Showtime, Hatter, they rolled deep. They rolled like the Southern Jaguars when they come on the road. When they come in with a posse. Big E, guys, is the reason that I created the hospitality room at the hotel.
Mm.
When Dallas Showtime, people would come and they would party. I said, look, next year when y'all come back, y'all ain't got to worry about going and paying $10 for a drink at the bar. I'm going to have all the drink y'all want in the suite next year when you come back. And sure enough, they came back. And from that day forward, I've always had a hospitality room at the hotels. Many of the local teams aren't aware of that because they're sleeping in their own beds. But people come from out of town, Alan, you know that. And I even had a bartender, well, not, I mean a volunteer bartender, be various different years that would actually serve the beverages in the cups, and we sit around and just have a great time and just talk. And if some people want to go and hang out after that, then they go, so be it. But then I've saved you your enough money. Think about it. You come in and drink 3 drinks, that's $30. It's 2 of y'all, you done save $60. It's 4 of y'all, you done saved $120. Yeah, that's that's 2 hotel nights, room nights you've saved. But man, shout out, man, one time for everybody in DFW. Our hearts are heavy because in the span of a year and a half to 2 years, you've lost Jazzy Hardwell. You've lost from Urban DFW Elite. You've lost Lawrence Johns from the Dallas Seawolves. You've lost Cynthia Guillory from Team Fort Worth, right? And now Irvin Big E Davis, all in that span. Guys, I'm gonna tell you something. You might not want to hear it, but Dallas basketball will never be the same on the grassroots scene. Never be the same. Big E was the connector to a lot of relationships that people that really didn't rock with each other. He was often that connector. So now one of your main connectors, he was an artery for the blood that flowed through DFW grassroots basketball. I didn't say he was the artery. He was an artery.
An artery, yeah. And Jim, I want to share some of the people who I thought a lot of people are sad. Nick Smith, I think Nina, I saw her and they sad, but I just want people to understand, man. When you were in this thing, we got a whole lot of people that's going home to be with the Lord. And I just left Jimmy. I went up to Dallas this weekend with Alan Branch, where he buried his mom this weekend. Unique thing happened in that I'll share with y'all later when I went to that funeral. But it's just y'all, all it is, just to help you out. The people don't understand this. That's why I know some people, you don't think don't know about death. But I learned a long time ago from Pastor Ed Montgomery. He was telling me about all death is, Robert, is a transition. Okay, it's a transition. All you're doing is going back, ladies and gentlemen, to your spiritual world. He going back home. He gonna have a layover in heaven until the end of time. Like somebody likened to it. Pastor used to say, Robert, it's like an astronaut. When he go into space, what he have on a spacesuit, right? But when he comes back home, he takes that spacesuit off. That spacesuit off. So all he did is he done got out of this physical body, y'all, and he's in another body and waiting on us. So don't be don't be sad. This happens. It's gonna happen for somebody, for everybody. What they said, death and taxes, it's going to happen to somebody, y'all. It's just happening to younger people and people that's close to this community. And so don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. I know you're going to get to crying, cry and get it out. But just understand, man, all he did is got out of this earthly body and got into he's in another realm right now. And he'll see you a little bit later. So cheer up and be of good cheer. And hey, let's celebrate the people that are here. That's why I'm telling y'all all this arguing and all. I keep trying. I've been consistent over the last 3 or 4 years about all of this bickering in this community and all of this. And you know, people don't want to do this and people don't want to do this. Let me tell y'all something, man. You listen, we don't, I tell y'all, I even Jimmy, I know people some friends of mine tell me, no, Robert, no. I said, but we have to prepare some people to come on, younger people to come on, Jimmy, at some point to prepare and do the chop shop. I don't want the chop shop with me and you. Something happened to me and you. We on the same plane. Something happened. The chop shop is done. So we got to groom our next generation. So this what this stuff is about. Like Jimmy said, something about we lose an artery. Now another artery got to take each place. That's how life is, ladies and gentlemen. But we can't have people take people place if everybody always. Let me tell you something. You ain't gonna agree with everybody, but just you don't have to be so disagreeable all the damn time. Okay, so let's hey, this is our community. These are our people. That you know, Lawrence Johns, he done been in my house before. So these people, I mean, it's hitting close to home. It's hitting close to home, and hey, let's take care of the people that we see every day. Let's take care of them. All right, Jimmy, what else you got?
Yeah, man. So that was tough, man. That's tough. And I'm just reading some of the comments, and you guys, you know, feel free. I'm thinking I missed the overslept Saturday morning. How do you remember to miss my plane, my 7 o'clock plane to DFW to catch the funeral service from Alan Branch's mom.
Yeah.
I plumbed the you know, I didn't hear. I slept right through the alert. You know, and instead of hitting the snooze, you know how they come on, you hit the snooze. I hit the end. You know, they didn't, and I thought it was on snooze, and I went back in the fifth gear, and I wake up and I had missed my plane. So
I was smart enough to go the day before. I wasn't gonna play around. I went late that night. Yeah, but it was great, Jimmy. She's a Delta. Alan's mama's a Delta. I pulled up and saw it was an outdoor wedding, Jimmy. Outdoor funeral. So I pulled up, all of this red everywhere. I didn't know she was a Delta. And I pulled up and all the Delta spoke, all of those women who she raised and it was beautiful. Outdoor. It was, guess what? It was COVID friendly. Outdoor. They even didn't have a repast, Jimmy. Guess what? They gave you the go box. So you can have some drink and some snacks and stuff. You can pick it off the table and you can go. It was unbelievable. I never saw a funeral like that. I mean, that's the new COVID way to do it. It was unbelievable. Shout out to Alan Branch and his mom and his family.
Yeah. And shout out. And so that meant that now the plan was already in place, because by the time that funeral was set for last weekend, Cynthia Guillory's services is set for this Saturday.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
11 a.m. Alan Branch mom was a 9 a.m.
9:30.
If it would have been 11 a.m., I'd have caught the next plane. I'd have made the next plane. Yeah. In other words, I'd have got on up, made the next plane.
Jim,
but this was
started on time, buddy. That thing started on time, baby boy.
Dude, I'm telling you, I just laid there in the bed. I said, oh man, ain't no way I can make that plane. No way. So
Houston was represented. I represented Houston. I represented everybody. Houston. But keep going.
And I plan on flying up to DFW again Saturday morning, and then fly right on back Saturday afternoon, because I got to prepare for Ruck on Wood. And then we got guests coming in town as well this weekend. So I duck on out and duck back into H-Town. But Cynthia's services is 11 a.m. at the Christ Cathedral Church. That's in Fort Worth. The Christ Cathedral Church. And this everyone must wear a mask. So that means in all likelihood, there's probably going to be another funeral the week after that.
For E.
For Irvin Big E Davis. I mean, I will be, and it was funny because Sandra said yesterday evening, she was like, oh man, She was like, say, damn, I mean, I got to fly back to Dallas for another funeral. She said, I'll go to Big E funeral. I knew him. I said, well, if that's the case, then we'll drive on up then. And or, because that'd be Labor Day weekend, Heather. That would be Labor Day weekend. Or going into it, depending on what day of the week. That would be Labor Day weekend. So a lot of people's plans often change because of funeral, but then that's something to consider. So it means, there's no school on that Monday. So we'll see how that goes. And but once again, guys, Irvin Big E Davis.
Yeah, and keep posting your E stories. But with your stories of Big E, keep posting them, Jimmy. I know we wish we had time. We can just one of these days, Jimmy. Even next day or so, if we have time, Jimmy. I like people to call in and tell us your Big E stories, man. That's great. I mean, let me tell you something, man. Like I said, I shout out to Stacy. Stacy got us together. I mean, I've been seeing him for years. You know, I used to see people, but I finally got his number in my phone now. So, Big E, if I ever have it in there, I'm never gonna take it out. Just like Bubba Griggs, I never took his phone number out of my phone. But
and that's a good question. I was thinking about that just yesterday evening, and I said I was gonna pose it to the Boom Boom Room. And right now, can we get you guys to share the show? Share the show to your timelines. Let's give a share. Let's get this thing rocking right now.
Right.
Share it to your give us a thumbs up if you're on the YouTube. Give us a share to your groups, to your stories. And I'm doing so right now. My question is, do you guys erase the phone numbers? Or how long, if you do, how long do you let it elapse before you erase phone numbers of the deceased out of your cell phone?
I never. I mean, they ain't bothered. It's sitting there. You know, I still got all the videos, man, that Bubba Griggs used to send me back and forth with Griggs, but with Bryce or Love. I still got all, man, what if I had to erase that? I wouldn't have had all that footage. So, no, sir, I don't erase my brothers, my sisters that's passed away. I don't. I mean, it's just, no. I mean, and I keep people in there for a long time. Now, Jimmy, now hold up. I got some people I need to erase out of there, and they still living. But the people that's made the transition, and that's what I think about E now. E, Jazzy, Lawrence Johns, and Cynthia Gill, they are ancestors now. That's how they are ancestors now. They going home to be their ancestors alive. Now, I just never. What's up, Glenn? But no, I never. That's a good one, Jimmy. I never do it. I mean, does anybody do it? I want to know.
I'm curious to see anybody. I'm from Louisiana, man. So, all my people. I'm thinking that's something like superstitious. I don't.
Well, y'all, I ain't got no superstition.
Them phone numbers. And if the person passed away, I'm thinking if you delete it, then you're gonna get the jinx or something.
No, jinx me.
I don't touch it.
Jimmy, I told y'all it's just a transition, Jimmy. Hey, I'm gonna have to make this transition at some point, just like E did, just like Cynthia did. So I understand it's gonna be a transition sometime. Jimmy, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna take up a whole nother suit, like my astronaut suit. I love that analogy. If you came on later, when E passing away, he ain't gone. He just took a transition. That's all. Because when you come here to Earth, you put on an earthly suit. But when you go back to where you came from, you put on that garment. You're in that spiritual realm. So, but that's a good one, Jimmy. I never thought about it, but I love to have my sister. I got my sister. I got my brother. I got everybody who passed away in my phone.
I'm telling you, I'm, and you often run. Have you ever called one of them?
No, I ain't that damn crazy.
No, I mean, I'm just saying. No. Let me tell you. Let me put your mindset right, because they often recycle cell phone numbers.
No, but I don't know. I ain't got time.
So if you'd be surprised if you call one, then whoever answers the phone, if they understand your language, then you can let them know, hey, look, I'm the son, or I'm this. I was checking if anybody called, because everybody didn't know when your loved one passed away, and some people just might be calling them randomly, like you normally do to people.
Yeah, I mean,
and they say, man, wrong number, and you still might not realize. I'm telling you.
That's a good
So
one.
that's funny
That's a good
stuff.
question. Look what Melvin Dew said. Do you erase them off social media? No, I don't. Man, I don't mess with my social media. I just leave it the hell alone. I don't go all the changing the picture every 2 weeks. I don't know. I really just ain't got time. Probably that's why.
Wow.
I ain't got that much time. But that's a good one. That's a good one to think about.
And
Uh-huh.
and of course, I see somebody put on in the boom room earlier as we get ready to shift gears. Don't forget, guys, at the top of the hour,
Yeah.
we expecting some guests to join us, and one of them is part of a very distinguished fraternity. So we're hoping to see if both of them come, like a very, very distinguished fraternity. And we're talking about Black history is up on us possibly at the top of the hour. Now, shout out to Nick Van Exel.
Yeah.
Yes. And he's been hired by the Atlanta Hawks and brought on as an assistant coach.
Mm-hmm.
I got a chance, me and Nick, we go way back. I think Nick, we go way back. I put it like that. But we've turned a few corners together. Especially when he used to live in Atlanta. Now he's moving back to Atlanta, it looks like, 'cause he lives in DFW. We chopped it up and kicked it a little bit when I was in Vegas, had a couple of weeks ago, and at the summer league.
Yeah, I saw him.
And Nick was working. He said it was an opportunity on the table, and it was a chance. He was working, and so now it's paid off, and he's back on the bench. One thing about Nick, we talked about. And he said he'd come on the Chop Shop again. I just forgot to get back with him and rap with him. Now he really has a reason to come. I'll probably reach and get him on next week for you guys. That way you can share some stories. And one of them, make sure when he come on, make sure y'all ask him about how he feels about the University of Cincinnati, how they, threw his name around as a, and didn't even give him a serious, sniff. And that really hurt Nick. That really hurt Nick. Nick was down with Cincinnati and Bob Huggins. And Huggins had nothing to do with this, but I'm just saying the school in itself. So shout out to him.
Jimmy, you said that because I remember he was trying to get a job back in a time he was trying to get a job, and the coaches was coming telling me, man, I just don't think those NBA guys are hungry enough. They ain't fit for this grind. They ain't for this grind. So I mean, I've heard some coaches that and know of. A couple of them said that, and I said, wow. I said they just don't understand some of these NBA players. They think because they had to have a discipline to be one of the Jimmy. Think about it, Jimmy. It ain't been but 5,000 of those guys. Or less than 5,000 of those guys ever. They had to have something special about them, commitment-wise. What you mean? They ain't gonna go the grind of a college coach. They won't fit the grind. I ain't never seen nobody work hard as Penny. And he got a pocket full of money. I ain't never seen nobody work this hard. Every day. Hey man, show me this video. Dude, I ain't no damn coach. I don't want to see another videotape of another player of another play. But some of these guys, Juwan Howard, Mike Boynton, they love this game. And I just don't like people putting a stereotype over NBA type players because Damon Stoudemire, hardest working dude in the world. But a lot of coaches used to put that stigma out there on those guys like Nick. Now, Robert, I don't think he'll work hard enough. Man, get the hell out of here. Hey, give him a chance. All they looking for, what, Jimmy, is a what?
Opportunity.
That's all. Say no more. What else you got over there?
That's all. And somebody just posted on there. I don't know. I haven't confirmed it that J.R. Smith got cleared by the NCAA. So that was pretty swift. If so, anybody, if you got that, can you give us the link?
Send us the link
to that. That is Moody. Just post the link to it. That way, now we have confirmation of that. If so, then this is very, very huge for the HBCU community. And he's attending North Carolina A&T.
That's a nice school, Jimmy. When we have some time tomorrow, I want to share some about that. Terrence J.
Don't get it twisted now. J.R. Smith ain't but about 36.
Yeah. Yeah.
College senior about 23, 24.
Okay.
Think J.R. Smith gonna be in. He gonna be in them DMs.
Man, ain't
Hey, big
nobody
head.
thinking about that stuff. Man, that man going to play golf and get an education. Man, that man ain't thinking about them little broke co-heads. That man got a wife at home, man. He ain't thinking about them. No, sir. I'm not. I'm not receiving that, Jimmy.
Not until spring break come. I mean homecoming. Homecoming. You keep your eye on Jr. You remember he can't keep his shirt on now for nothing. DJ played. All DJ got to do is play right song.
Leave him
He come up
alone,
out
man.
that shirt.
Ain't nothing sacred no more. When ain't nothing sacred no more. Ain't nothing sacred no more. But
Yeah,
nah.
man. And so, and did he post the link yet? And we're waiting on the link.
Hey, Jimmy, Jimmy, another thing about your ESPN reported it. Jimmy, another thing about your theory, you're always talking about consequences and what'd you say? Choices and consequences. Your homeboy Cam Newton, right? Don't want to get vaccinated, Cam Newton, right? Jimmy, he might have played himself out of New England. New England drafted in the first round Mac Jones, Jimmy. Story about Cam that that he'll be away from the team until Thursday due to Jim, check this out. Doing a misunderstanding on COVID tests that were conducted away from the NFL facilities. Y'all check this out. The Patriots were in Philadelphia last week. They had joint practices and a preseason game. So the players had time off for the weekend after the game. The Patriots were fine with that Cam said he needed to go somewhere. They were fine. They gave him the go-ahead, but Cam needed to continue to have testing daily. All right? You follow this now. Wherever he was going, I don't know where the hell he was going. Should have took his ass back to where he was. Something that the players unvaccinated need to do. Players that are unvaccinated need to get a test every day, Jimmy, wherever your ass going. But the key here is, Jimmy, wherever testing Cam needed to be a part of this thing called BioReference. This is a group that is leading the testing for the whole NFL. So it had to be a part of that group. And it seems that's where the misunderstanding was. So it was just, Jimmy, let me tell you something. Because I've been hearing they're getting sick and tired of him up there anyway. Okay? And when stuff like this get out, and stuff where they got out anyway because they know he wasn't going to play. But Jimmy, he's be able to play in the game. He just can't practice this week. But, hey, y'all, there's choices with your consequences. That's all I'm going to say. I don't give a fat rat's ass if that's what the Patriots trying to do. If they trying to do that, don't give them the excuse. You're already not vaccinated, right? So, Jimmy, if you ain't vaccinated, unvaccinated players don't have the same freedoms and the same rules as vaccinated players. This in the collective bargaining agreement. This in their agreement. He know what the hell he was doing. Everybody tell me, don't blame the team on this one. Blame his ass on this one. If y'all gonna get on a 21-year-old damn girl, y'all better get on this grown-ass man with kids who can go hang out with Amon Shopper and what's the girl, Tiana Taylor, over there at their baby over at one of his baby's parties. Come on, Cam Newton. Come on, son, dude. They gonna get him up out of there. What else you got, Jim?
I mean, Cam Newton, as we affectionately identify as tight britches, from his selection of clothing items over the past few years and his post-game attire. I think that Cam is in that situation where he can't get out of his own way. There you go. I think that Cam still believes that he's in Super Bowl mode from yesteryear. And you're not in Carolina. You're in Boston.
Hello? What you call Boston, Jimmy?
Boston is the white Atlanta.
And he from the black Atlanta.
Exactly. My point. Now he has a nice cigar spot down there in Atlanta. Get some good leaves up in there. But Cam, you don't get it, buddy. They got the prize of Alabama.
Alabama.
See, at the end of the day, even though the election kind of rubbed off, that was less than a year ago. And don't you remember the stories about Mr. Kraft, who one of his best allies was? The former quarterback, Tom. Well, I mean,
Tom Brady was never linked to him, Jimmy. He just had a hat in the thing. He just had
Tom Brady didn't never say he wasn't. Tom Brady didn't shut it down.
And he didn't take his ass to that White House, did he?
He didn't take it to the White House.
He didn't shut
it down.
Yes.
He had
Jimmy, when you know better, you do better.
But no, get at the Cam Newton. He should know better.
Jimmy, where the hell he had to go? The season's about to start. He might
want some lemon pepper wings. He might got a wing place he might want to go to.
Jimmy.
But whatever, of course, this dude, they have understand something. And I was listening and watching Marcus Spears earlier this morning on ESPN. And Marcus Spears, he brought one great point. He said, go look up the last time the New England drafted in the first round. They drafted an offensive player, position player, an essential offensive player. Go look that up. The last time the Patriots drafted one, they drafted this boy, Matt Jones, for him to play. They didn't draft him. So he's going to, listen.
Yeah, he was going to play anyway, Jimmy.
This first year is the groom year.
Yeah.
He's going to sit there, and they're going to take him straight through the ranks. Meanwhile, they asked the head coach on the radio show just yesterday, is it a possibility that he can platoon? And the head coach didn't even deny it.
I'm saying, Jim, you mentioned Alabama.
I always want to put my teams, I'm going to position my team for the best chance for us to win. That was his response. So they're letting you know that at the worst case scenario, they'll be platooning.
Let me tell you something. Speaking of Alabama, Jimmy, I got to throw this in because some people don't find this kind of information up. I found this out yesterday. I read it. I saw this soundbite from them people who, all you people, bless y'all little hearts, you know, your black Republicans. I want your black Republicans. I want y'all to help me with this one. Your homeboy, number 45, was down in Alabama, Jimmy, the other day. Do you know what he said in Alabama? Did you hear about? I know you heard. Did you hear? He was talking about General Patton and this and General Patton and that. He talking about. Was General Patton woke? I don't think he was woke. I don't think he was woke. Everybody that's woke is a loser. Then he said, everybody that's woke is a loser. Everything that's woke turns into SHIT. This what this guy. Think about it. Who are the people who are saying they're woke? The people that some of y'all voted for, some of y'all friends voted for. This is what he said yesterday. But Jimmy, when you mentioned Alabama, he was in Alabama when he said it. That's why I thought of. I wasn't going to even bring it up, but when you mentioned Alabama, that's. But keep on going, Jimmy, because I know we got to get Jimmy. Give me them 30 guys. Let's talk about our 30 guys before these guys get on.
At the second half of the hour, we are at the bottom half.
Yeah.
And we shift gears because at the top of the hour, we have guests joining us. And as promised, I'm going to give you a chance right now to share the show. We are about to share with you the top 30 performers from Rucker on Wood. Yesterday, we did the class of 2024. But today, we talking about them incoming freshmen.
Let's talk about them crabs. I got the numbers. I ain't got the names. I got the numbers, though.
I'm gonna give you names. I'm gonna give you names, and I'll give you some numbers.
Okay, yeah, and then I can tell what was they on mine. I know one thing. 37 was on my list.
Hold tight.
Okay.
I'm gonna go through the list, and you let me know how many of them that I did not have on your list.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's good. Let's
right?
go. Come on.
And then
Let's
you
go.
can add. Then you can fill in the gap and add, and you're
I,
gonna
I ain't got but
annex.
I got you.
You can annex the list and add your
No, I
the
like my
list and
list.
add your.
Hey, I like my list. I'm gonna keep them.
No, I'm just talking about. No. I'm going to probably name
Some
some
people
that you.
that I didn't see. Yeah.
So instead of saying them names again.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that means now you're at you. Here we go.
All right.
30
Okay.
in order. Share
Okay.
the show right now. This is gonna be good.
Let's share the
This is
show.
from Ruck on Wood, the Open Gym series from this past Sunday. These are the top. Now, how did we get these names? Is remember, so guys, in case you don't understand something, because I know people always try to make me personally, I sparingly watched some of the action because I was dealing with the operations of the Rucker on Wood up until bracket play. Now, when bracket play came, I sit down and watched one court every game on one particular court, which was court one.
Yeah, I saw
So I got to see every bracket game that came through court one. Doug Jones and Jeffrey Day were primarily on court 2 watching every game that went through there. So
I was like this, Jimmy.
So here's what I did. I go to each court had a coach. So that means if you're playing on court 1 and you're the home and I'm the visitor hatter, there's 2 young men that's on that court. They're coaching whatever teams come to that court and play.
Gotcha.
So they're coaching the court. That way they get to evaluate multiple players because over the course of the afternoon, several teams play on that court. Pretty much everybody's going to play on every court. So at the end, they receive a sheet, and the sheet is kind of like this.
Okay.
It's the roster sheet.
I wish I had a damn sheet.
Right? And the roster sheet has the numbers, the teams. We print those right on the spot. So their job is to just circle the ones that they liked. You see those circles? This is one of the ballots, one of the sheets from one of the games. Here's another one right here. Here's another one. Circle the ones you like. Here goes another one. You see? So we had a total of 6 of those, 5 of those, plus me. I had my notes and I combined them myself. So what I did was every guy on my sheet, well, you can't, that's right, the screen. Every guy on my sheet, I noted, then I added every person that was mentioned on the other people's sheet. I circled on my sheet, and it came out to 30 players.
Okay.
Now, so here, and some of those guys were the same ones I had. So here we
go.
I
ain't worried about
letting people know because this is the 9th graders, how they've never been through this Ruck on Wood before. So they probably wondering, this don't mean this is who was the best. This who was the best on that day, according to the people that were saw them. Now, if you go on rcssports.com, Doug Jones has a list of 12, his Doug's dozen, for each class that he saw. It's in the VIP news. Jeffrey Day will be releasing his probably this evening about on the front of the website, rcssports.com. So without further ado, here we go.
Jimmy, can I tell you, Archie, thank you right quick while you getting ready. Yeah. Archie, thank you for, I got some video.
Plug the video in,
No, I mean, we already saw, right? I mean, which one you want? From what?
Okay, so yeah, you didn't give him the video.
He sent me some video of McDermott, and then TJ Ford sent me some pictures of Robert Miller. I love both of them guys. I don't know what the hell y'all talking about. I'm in love with them two. But come on, let's go. I'm in love with them two.
Absolutely.
Keep going.
Remember.
I know. I'm in love.
No, but
I saw them for myself, Jimmy.
They part of the same ticket.
I know, but I'm sorry. No. I said I saw them myself. I don't go by what y'all say. Y'all got to realize. When that man showed, I said, what? 9th grade? 10th grade? Yeah. Nah, come on, give you. We'll talk about that. Come on, let's go.
And now the video that we was talking about, the one you showed yesterday, get them. That's 2025. We're about to talk about.
Okay, 2025. All right, here we go.
Give them that one real quick.
Not as athletic, can catch up.
This is a fast break. 1 point. So Aiden.
We have a ball. Black 27, Dick 35. Bad pass, all solid. From the free throw line. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's action for Ruck on Wood, and that is the class of 2025. And we are about to share with you in alphabetical order, according to the first name, the 30 top performers from this past weekend. We'll go first is Aiden Duran. He's 6'6" at Spring High School. Aiden
What was his number?
Duran. He was number 93. Right?
He went on my list. Okay.
Amir Young. He's 5'11" from Memorial High School. Amir Young.
What was
Not
his
on
number?
your list?
What was his number?
Um,
I ain't got no names. I just wrote numbers. I didn't know the name. I didn't have a sheet.
okay. That ain't no problem. I'm trying to look on there and see. Number 43.
He ain't on my list. Keep going.
Ashton Jones. He's 6'3" from Shadow Creek High School. Ashton Jones
What's the number?
was number 91.
I didn't get a chance to see him.
Okay. Austin Armitage. Austin Armitage is 5'10". He attends Kingwood High School. He wore number 59.
No, sir.
Calvin Murphy III. He's 5'11". He attends Jack Yates High School. He wore number 37.
37. Oh, y'all can hold up. Oh, yeah, y'all can see it. 37. Look at the bottom. 37. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Keep going.
Next up, we have Cameron Smith. He's 6'2". He attends Fort Bend Bush High School. Cameron Smith.
Oh, yes.
Right?
What was his name? I know who he is. I know who he is.
Cameron
Yes.
Smith wore number 81.
Yes.
He's the younger brother of Tyler Smith.
Oh, yeah. He won the championship. He won the championship.
Yeah, they won the championship.
Uh-huh.
He's a lefty just like his brother is.
Yeah.
They're both lefties.
Yeah. Cam can play.
Christian Jones.
Okay.
Christian Jones is 5'10". He attends Maid Creek High School. He wore number 10.
He going to Maid Creek?
Yeah.
Oh, he just got the worst coach in the world, but I love that kid right there, man. Oh, my goodness, I like him, man. Damn, I ain't going to never get a chance to see him play this year, but keep going, Jim.
Now, also, you have, next up is Cole Rosen, Rosen. Cole Rosen he's 6'6". He attends Klein Kane High School, and he wore number 82.
Cole, I'm sorry, baby boy. I didn't see you do nothing.
Yeah. White kid, man. Nice. Wait
a minute. White kid? Oh, tall white kid?
Yeah, lumberjack.
Yeah, I like him. I didn't write him down. I'm sorry, Cole. Cole. My bad, Cole. My bad.
Yeah.
I remember him. Keep going.
Lumberjack.
Keep going.
Back.
My bad.
Next up, we have a young man named Corey Syon. Syon. Corey Syon.
Uh-huh.
Now, check this out about Corey.
Uh-huh.
He's 5'7".
Okay.
He attends St. Francis Episcopal. Remember that name of that school. Bookmark that. St. Francis Episcopal. That's in Houston. Corey Syon. We'll get back to that. Next up is Deshaun
Wait a minute, what's his number, Jimmy?
Oh, little
Syon.
Corey Syon.
Yeah.
He was number 22 on the winning team, the team that won it all.
I know. I didn't pay him. He must didn't do nothing when I saw him. But keep going.
I think he's on that
Okay.
team. Next up is Deshaun Scott. He's 6'3". And this young man, I remember when he came to the check-in process, and they had on the school when you put in what school you attend,
Right.
the mom put unknown. So I looked up and I said, hold on, Mom, school starts Monday.
Yeah.
You don't know what school he going to? She said, well, we probably gonna homeschool him. I say, Mama, if you gonna homeschool him, why just don't want me write homeschooling there? He said, no. Then he looked at his mama, said, Mama. She said, it's probably gonna be Bush. I mean, I'm sorry, it's probably gonna be third good Marshall with Coach Courtney. It's probably gonna be third good Marshall.
Oh,
So
great
Courtney,
decision.
Deshaun Scott is this young man's name. He's 6'3".
What's his number?
I would let me give you his number. He was number 71.
Yes, sir. I got him.
I would not be surprised if he's not on varsity. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
71. Said 71 yards. 71. Keep going. I like him.
Next up, we have Derek Buckner. Derek Buckner. Now, Derek is 5'11". He attends Humble High School. Derek Buckner was on team 1. He wore number 30.
Derek, I didn't get you, baby. Derek, I miss you, baby. I miss you.
Next up, we have Donovan Fears. Donovan Fears, he's 6 foot tall. He attends Willow Ridge High School. He wore number 51. He's on team 10.
Hold on, let me see, Jimmy. Let me see. I think I got a 51. Let me see. No, I didn't. I miss you. What's his name? Donovan? What his name?
Yeah.
Donovan, I miss you, baby. I mean, my head was probably turned the other way, Donovan. I get you that time. Who else we got, Jimmy?
And this next young man, how about this? He was a standby.
Okay.
And waited. He came to the event on hope.
Okay.
That a spot would open up and some people would not show up and it would open up him a spot to get in.
Okay.
He did that. He gambled on himself.
Okay.
He got in and he was tabbed as one of the top 30 performers. His name is Dylan Baker.
What was his number?
Baker. He wore number 28.
Dylan, I didn't get you, baby.
High School.
What?
He's 5'11". This young man is probably going to be on varsity as a starter this year at Friendswood High School. Probably. Next up, this young man right here, he received a vote, and not because of what he did on offense so much, because he ran his team, but his defense and his energy, his spunkiness could not be ignored on the court. And this young man, his name is Ian Lowe. He was the shortest player in the building. He's 5'2", and he goes to the Kincaid School. He wore number 4. Ian Lowe. His team made it to the championship game. And one game I remember how it was Money Mike team played against
bad call. Their
Terrible team
call.
In the first round of bracket play, and you should have saw the spirit that was coming from both of those teams.
Oh, he had a lot of spirit, but
the benches were fired up and they was grooving. Every play was like clapping. People were taking charges, everything. And this you talking in open gym. Who takes charges in open gym?
Yeah, but who called the charge in open gym? Tell the ref, the lady ref. Well, Jimmy, I don't know her name. Tell her, leave that alone. Tell her that was a no foul. There was no foul. No, I'm just playing. Keep on going. Give me the next one.
And Clyde just mentioned that somebody enrolled in Dawson High School today. Can you let us know who that is? Who enrolled in Dawson High School today? Maybe we want to make sure we ain't missing nothing to call the wrong school out for somebody. Now, what we're doing, if you just tuned in, we're going over the top 30 performers from Rucker on Wood. And we got about 10 left. I'm gonna speed through them so we can get to the back nine with our guests.
Yeah, and our guests are here. Yeah.
Frederick Sampson is next up. 5'9", Elkins High School. That's Frederick Sampson.
What is number?
Frederick was what number was? I'm trying to find him.
Okay.
21.
No. No, sir. I didn't get him. Come on, that's all right. I just mentioned Fred.
We got
Fred.
we got. Don't
Tell
worry. We got
Fred don't
next
get.
up.
Tell Fred don't get mad. I just didn't. I can't see that good.
We got Jeffrey Jordan Morris. Jeffrey Jordan Morris, 6'4" at Memorial High School. He wore number 58.
Yes, sir. I got his name underlined.
Yeah, he's hey, everybody had votes for him on the back on my sheet. Next up is Jackson Stoneborough. Jackson Stoneborough. And Jackson, I'm trying to see what number. He was number 6. Creek High School.
Number 6, Jimmy?
5'10.5".
Did you say number 6?
Number 6.
Okay. I don't think I got a number 6. No.
Don't. Next up, we have Jake Dobson. Jake Dobson is 5'9". He goes to Episcopal High School. He wore number 15. Next up, we have Jamal Cretian. Jamal Cretian, he's 6'3". He goes to Maid Creek High School, and he wore number 63.
Keep going.
Jafon Duncan. Jafon Duncan. He's 5'9". He attends Side Creek High School. He wore number 17.
Didn't get him.
Jeremiah Cooper. 6'7", Westfield High School. He wore number 88.
I missed it.
John LeBoy. John LeBoy. He's 6'2". Remember this school, Hatter?
Okay.
St. Francis Episcopal. St. Francis Episcopal. And John was number 78.
I think I got that number, Jimmy. Yes.
Hold on.
He can shoot it. He can shoot it.
Coleman Dutton is next up. He's 6'2". Coleman Dutton attends Bel Air High School. Coleman Dutton. And he wore number 68. Leslie David Streeter, Clear Falls High School. He's 6'2". He wore number 48. Michael Collins, 5'11", Shadow Creek High School. He has a nickname, and what is his nickname, Adam?
Money Mike.
Why they call him Money Mike?
Because his jump shot is money.
Oh, God. And, of course, Money Mike is 5'11". He goes to Shadow Creek. You didn't get that. Montana Wheeler, 5'9", Houston Christian School. Montana Wheeler. He wore number 7. Nick Broshier, 5'10", the Woodlands Christian Academy. Nick Broshier, 5'10", from the Woodlands Christian Academy. He wore number 26. How about Nigel Walls, 6'8", St. Francis Episcopal High School. He wore number 49. Raheem Vargas, 5'7", from Second Baptist. He wore number 14. And last but not least, Tyler Sheets. Tyler Sheets. And Tyler is 5'6" at Cy Ranch High School. He wore number 5. And those are 30 of the top performers from Rucker on Wood, the 2025 session. I mentioned that St. Francis Episcopal School. That school, as you can see, they had 3 of the 30 players. 3 freshmen were listed. So that gives you a sign as a measuring stick to say, man, you know what? This school got a chance to be really, really doggone good. And in a couple of years, guess who's the coach at St. Francis Episcopal? You remember the former head coach at 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 uh St. John's, right? Coach Baber. Guess what? He's the coach. That's Harold Baber. He's the head coach at St. Francis Episcopal. He was also the grassroots coach for the JL3 15 and under team, which makes it totally legit because you can't normally, the rules in place, you can't coach a team that one of your players play on. Well, those kids in 2025, this class was actually the 14 and under. They were coached by Delilah, and they had like JL3 had like 2 or 3 14U teams. So it makes it perfectly legit for Harold Baber to receive some of these enrollees into his program. So there you have it, guys. And right on cue, of course. Now, meanwhile, we cue you up and get you ready. We got special guests joining us. You can give them that video of the 2024 Ruck on Wood. We can't.
Yeah, I've been off screen trying to get our guests in, so we won't be able to do it. It's gonna take me a second to do that. So
okay. So we right on time. We're 2 minutes behind, and we can bring our guests on in. And of course, without further ado, a lot of you guys have written questions in our mailbag over the past month or so and inquired about prep schools, post-grad opportunities. How does this stuff work? What the hell is going on? This and that. And so we did is we have with us today a founder of one of the newly established schools, academies in the greater Houston area. It's called PSAT. And we're going to talk with the founder, Dr. Andrew Green. Also, we're expecting him. Is he by himself or he has somebody with him?
No, he got somebody with him.
And
I go, Dr. Andrew. Hold on. Let me get. Hold on. I got to get Dr. Green his applause. Hold on. Okay. All right. Now we got another guest. He's in the green room right now. I got another guest, so I'll let you introduce him because he's some.
What we'll do is we'll let Dr. Green introduce the guest. But first, tell us about what does PSAT stand for, and tell us briefly, real quick, who the hell is Dr. Green?
Yeah. We don't know you, Doc. What's up, man?
You don't look like no hooper.
Okay.
What's up, Doc?
Hey, what's up? What's up, Adam? What's up, Jill?
Man,
look, PSAT stands for Prep Student Athlete Training.
Okay.
That's what it's just. The first letters of Prep Student Athlete Training.
Okay.
And basically, we're just preparing kids academically and athletically to perform at a high level, with the emphasis on academics first.
Okay.
I'm just a doctor here in town. I run a medical diagnostic company. I've been running since 2004 in the area of neurodiagnostics, diagnosing various conditions from myasthenia gravis to cervical radiculopathy and a carpal tunnel, just to help doctors understand whether this patient is a candidate for surgery or not.
Okay.
So maybe they need to go to physical therapy. Maybe they need to go to surgery. So they need the proper neurodiagnostics done on them to determine that. Okay. This academy is just like I was Jim on the phone the other day. This academy is about, we're not trying to reinvent anything. Mm-hmm. There are schools doing online education at a high level, like Stanford Online High School or George Washington University's Online High School. Matter of fact, Stanford Online High School is the only online high school that's in the top 50 private schools, that's not a brick and mortar. That's in the top 50 high schools, private schools in the US. Mm-hmm. So we're not reinventing doing online high school at a high level. Stanford's already doing that. We're not reinventing teaching kids how to play basketball at a high level. You got Montverde and all these other places doing that. We are just trying to combine high level academics with high level athletics together.
Okay.
That is the competitive advantage area that we're trying to be in. with the emphasis on academics first, because less than 99, less than 1% of these kids gonna make more than 50 grand a year playing sports.
Hello.
Let's just be honest. So the emphasis has to be on academics.
Yes, sir.
And that's my passion. I wouldn't be involved if we were just doing something that was athletic. You know, we got plenty of that. You know, Alodia. You know, all the way up to EYBL.
Right.
And they're doing a good job at it at each level. You know, dominate your level. But the combination of elite academics with elite athletics, so kids feel prepared to go into what they conceive as difficult degrees when they get to college. We don't want athletes anymore shying away from going into econometrics or mechanical engineering or nanotechnology when they go to college, you know, because they don't feel prepared. We want them to feel just as prepared. You know, Kincaid does a good job at preparing. Houston Christian does a good job at preparing. Shadow Creek does a good job at preparing. So, you know, we want to be another institution that's helping to prepare kids for high level degrees when they go to college.
I like that. So, Jimmy, what you want, Coach? You want to
so
introduce
now-
your guest?
Yes.
Both.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
as we do this athletics, we pick partners that have excelled in their area, be it basketball, baseball, soccer. So no greater person in this area to represent and partner with but Bo Porter, who is currently the Major League Baseball Director of Coaching Development and the founder of Bo Porter Future All-Stars Baseball Development Academy. He's doing some phenomenal things out there in Sienna Plantation area. And without further ado, is Bo. He just joined us.
What's up, Bo?
Bo came on that mean mugging.
What's going on?
Bo, hey, Jimmy, me and Bo.
How you guys doing? I haven't had my coffee yet.
Oh, no, you're all right, Bo. Jimmy don't understand you and I were struggling to get you on the screen. See, he just on here talking, and me and you were behind the scene trying to get on. We was trying to get the stuff there right, but he's all right now, Bo. Exactly. Bo done went through about 12 devices to get on here, but I appreciate it, man. It was worth the wait, man.
I have all of them sitting here too. two phones, a computer, iPad. I have all the devices.
You're looking good. You're looking good.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. And Dr. Green, I appreciate your kind words. Unlike Dr. Green, we're actually trying to reinvent the wheel. So maybe in basketball, he's not trying to reinvent the wheel. But in baseball, the wheel needs to be reinvented for a number of reasons. And I'll start by saying that youth baseball is broken. And it's broken at the root. And the reason it's broken at the root is because it got out of the community and it became just straight pay to play and more of a business activation than how do we really develop baseball players. So, you know, when I decided to step back into this space, I stepped back into the space with 28 plus years of experience of not just playing, coaching, and managing experience, but also front office and executive experience and understanding the hierarchy of our game and where the tutelage is really taking place and how our kids are basically just falling farther and farther and farther behind. When you start to look at travel baseball, like as it exists today, there are so many outfits that are being coached and put together by people who've never played baseball. So I pose this question to any academic person. Will you allow someone to teach your kid academics who never graduated from school? Or would you allow someone who's not a cardiologist to give you heart surgery?
No, sir.
So when you start to look at just the game in its entirety, Matt Hatter, you can go online right now, register at USSSA, go find 13, 12-year-olds, get their date of birth and their graduation year, and you can sign them up. You pay your $350 and you have a team. They'll send you all kind of emails that shows you all the different tournaments that you can enter. You put your team in a tournament, they'll send you a schedule and say, you play at 9 o'clock on Saturday.
No development, no.
You pay Pay your $550 and you play at 9 o'clock on Saturday.
Okay.
If you go, you take the kids, you go play. Whatever happens, happens. The kids have fun, have a great time. The parents go, well, we played baseball. Okay. That's happening all over the country.
Wow.
That's happening.
Wow.
So, I mean, I think basketball has done a much better job of having former players really active
Yes.
in the tutelage of the next generation of players. In baseball, we dropped the ball. We dropped the ball, and I'm trying to do my part in picking it up. And when I say pick it up, that's like Dr. Green said. To me, you can't have it without academics. So I wanted to marry the two. Dr. Green gave me that opportunity with this partnership. So we not only, Future All-Star Sports, it's not only just a baseball academy where kids are going to come and train and play select travel baseball. We now have the opportunity to provide a private school education for middle school and high school age kids that want to focus on developing as a baseball player.
Wow. Jimmy?
So now, Dr. Green, how many instructors will be comprising the PSAT Academy? How many teachers?
Right now, to start off with, we have about 50 kids, so we got about 10 instructors. That's about a 5 to 1 ratio on teacher to student ratio. But as Bo brings on more kids, we're not starting baseball to fall 2022.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
So we're going to be bringing on another 150 plus kids in the fall of 2022. We're going to be bringing on probably another 20, 30 more teachers for the program. Now, our teachers, they don't teach all day long. They teach sort of a half a day, because half of the day they're going to be in academics, and then the other half of the day they're going to be with Bo Porter, developing at a high level with his coaches.
Okay.
So when you hear a high number like 30 teachers, realize those teachers aren't teaching all day long. They're experts in their area, but they're teaching for half a day. So the number of teachers will expand as we bring on more and more student athletes. But right now,
Are the teachings live or virtual?
That's the one thing that I like about this. I wanted to mimic Stanford and George Washington University's online high school in that we want live synchronous education. It's one of the problems in the pandemic, that kids felt disconnected, because when they're watching pre-recorded videos over and over and doing homework, they sort of just zone out after a while. After about 2 hours, they zone out without that constant interaction and that energy transfer from a live teacher. So we want to do it just like those two schools. There's other schools out here that are doing asynchronous, but we chose to do synchronous. Synchronous is a lot more expensive because you got to have real teachers. But if we're gonna do excellence in basketball and baseball development, we need excellence in academics. And I think a synchronous education is a step towards excellence.
That's the first time I heard that term, Coach. Dr. Green. Explain synchronous education a little bit.
Synchronous means that you, for instance, a kid might have a class at 12, another class starts at 12:50 or 1:10. Those classes have a live teacher. You miss that time, you miss that teacher. You miss that in. Asynchronous is pre-recorded, so you can be in the middle of the night and you can take that English class at 3 o'clock in the morning because it's asynchronous. You're looking at the material, but it's already pre-recorded. So you do it whenever you want. So
would the kids be able to interact with the teacher?
Not on asynchronous, but on
synchronous.
synchronous.
Yeah.
On synchronous, it's live. That's why you don't really want a high student to teacher ratio, because there's not enough real estate on a computer screen to have 30 kids really have the interaction. You really want that to be about 12 or less. So you got great interaction and great opportunity between each student and teacher.
So just like we doing now, going back.
Just like we're doing right now.
Okay.
This is synchronous.
Okay.
This is synchronous.
I like that.
And the energy is being transferred, whether it's chemistry
Yeah.
or whether it's social studies.
Okay, I like that, Jimmy.
So now, what's the difference than asynchronous or synchronous and being, let's say, homeschooled?
Homeschooled is live. Like for instance, well, there's two types of homeschool. Just like there's two types of public school, you can have a live and you can have a virtual. You can have a live homeschool where your mom or a proctor who comes into the home is actually in charge of the instruction, or you can have a virtual where mom sort of and dad is sort of to the side, and there's sort of the computer is acting as the virtual instructor.
That's what I meant. The virtual version of homeschooling.
Right.
What's the difference between? Is there any difference in what you just explained and
most of those virtual homeschool? They're most of the time they're asynchronous.
So
Most of the time, unless the parents want to, because you have to have a certain amount of volume as an institution for it to be for it to make sense to make the expenditure to have a platform for synchronous where there's teachers and most parents don't really want to make that big of investment for one student, unless they have that kind of revenue in the home to sit there and have, if they got 6 live courses, they got 6 live instructors or 3 live instructors that have gifted in 2 different disciplines to teach those 6 classes. So you a lot of times in a homeschool have a mixture of what a mom and dad help with some content, and then there's a proctor or instructor that does maybe the thing that the mom and dad don't feel comfortable with, like mathematics or high level English or foreign languages. It's more of a la carte, as we need it. We bring in extra instructors.
Wow. Jim?
And of course, if you just tune into the Chop Shop, we have Dr. Andrew Green and of course Bo Porter, and they're with PSAT. It's a newly formed academy in Houston, Prep Student Athlete Training. They will have more than one sport. Bo Porter, of course, that face look familiar, or that name. He's the former manager of the Houston Astros. About what, 10 years ago? It's almost 10 years ago.
Not that long.
Not that long, Jim.
Almost about 8 years ago.
Yeah.
About 8. I said almost
8
10
is close
years
to
ago.
10. Yeah. Come on, Bo.
Almost 10 years ago.
I remember.
Now,
I got one for Dr. Green. Dr. Green, where did this bring? Because I like to know why. Where did this bring? I like to know the why of everything that I'm doing. What made you say, "Hey, man, I know you talked about elite athletic training, but what made it had to be a why. It had to be a why moment to make y'all, to you and Bo, y'all, it had to be a why moment to make y'all say, okay, let's make this commitment, let's do this. What was your why moment?
My why moment is
I'll go first if you want me to, Dr. Green.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Go, Bo.
I'll go first. Being in baseball as long as I've been in baseball, my why moment really came in 2 phases.
Okay.
The first why was as the assistant general manager for the Atlanta Braves. I go over to the Dominican Republic and I see us build a brand new Dominican academy. And I'm there for a week and a half, and you get 200 kids running through there every day. And I see the way these kids are developing.
Okay.
I then come back to the States, and at this time, I was director of player development for the Players Association. We made an attempt to purchase USSSA, which is the governing body of youth baseball, pretty much. Well, in our attempt to actually purchase USSSA, I sat at the negotiation table in their board meetings and just basically wanted to look at their infrastructure of what exactly are we giving these kids when they come to your tournaments. Well, come to find out, they're really not giving them anything but access to a space to play. So when you look at 7-8 million kids going through this organization, the question I ask is, okay, did we take any time to teach these kids when we had them in front of us? Well, that's not a part of the business plan. The business plan is just to provide a place and a space for them to play.
Right.
So I saw this as an opportunity and said, how about we get our former players engaged here where you can still have these tournaments, let the kids show up, but how about you have qualified people there ready and available to actually teach when they show up. Well, that conversation didn't make it too far. And that became like my why. When I started to look at our kids, look at what they're giving to the kids in the Latin American countries, I started posing the question like, why won't somebody do this for our kids? And then finally, I just looked in the mirror and said, well, why am I looking for somebody else to do what I already know needs to be done? I have the resources to do it. I have the network to do it. I need to do it. That's my why.
Wow. Doc, what you got, Doc? What's your
Hey.
why?
My why, me and Bo met through we met through Carrie Patterson Brown introduced us about 6 years ago. Bo?
Yeah. It was about 6 years ago. It was 2014.
ago.
Yes.
So you know how God will
Yeah.
put things in your path. So that was tucked away 6 years ago. We kept, communication here and there. But when my kids came to me in February, my two oldest sons, they said, "Dad, can we talk to you? We just come from a tournament seeing a younger brother in Round Rock." And he said, "Dad, we want you to gather everybody you know and start a program for that can help kids get better," because they felt like they didn't have anything that was a solid platform when they came up that did both. And
What sports your sons play? Go.
basketball.
Okay, keep going. All right. Okay.
And so I tried to shake it off. And like I was telling Bo before, the more I tried to shake it off, the more God would let me shake it off. And eventually I started moving in that direction and eventually talked to Bo, and it seemed like the stars started aligning. I started talking to former players like Ansu Cisse, Cartier Martin, former pros like DJ Anderson and Kenneth Gamble, and they all were willing to come together and help teach, like Bo said, the next generation of athletes, student athletes, to play the game the right way and be developed. Now go on the stage and display that and wrap that all with high level academics. So when I talked to Bo about it, it was just like it just came together. His wife, was with it because when you married,
Yes,
if
sir.
if it's a vision, it's got to be shared, a shared
Yeah.
vision. Now, there's
Yeah.
gonna be some friction.
Yeah.
But when his wife was with it, and he excited all his wife on the phone. I think she was seeing patients, but she took a quick call from him. Then I knew this. This is me and Bo. We supposed to do something together.
I got a couple of things. You just mentioned two. You just went and plucked two of our best teachers of basketball in Houston. You mentioned DJ Anderson and Ken Gamble, and I can tell you,
I love those guys.
From my knowledge of basketball and being around, these are two of our best teachers. Okay, of the game of basketball. So I know, but somebody asked me to ask you a question. This for Bo. Bo. So you're saying the system has no interest? The system, not your. The system has no interest in American. Hold up, he said in American born black kids playing in the MLB. You saying that's what the system has? They rather go over to Venezuela. They better go to South America. So the system has no interest in our young black kids playing basketball in the Major League Baseball.
Baseball.
Baseball. I mean, baseball. I'm sorry. Are you saying that a little bit?
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
Not what I'm saying. So,
Okay.
So if someone's thinking that, let's correct them right away.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
Uh-huh.
That's not Major League Baseball. It's doing a lot of things. I'm a part of a lot of things that we're doing with Major League Baseball.
Okay,
The breakthrough,
gotcha.
the breakthrough series, the
Okay.
RBI program,
Okay.
the Hank Aaron Invitational. All
Okay.
of those activations are basically underwritten by Major League Baseball
Okay.
and USA Baseball.
Okay.
But the majority of our kids are playing what's called select and travel baseball. Baseball is no longer a community sport where, like when I was coming up, you can find little league in every community.
I got you.
That's not the case. That's not the
Okay.
case anymore because travel baseball has taken over.
Okay.
And because travel baseball has taken over, what you have is you have a lot of programs that are being run by dads or people in a community that just say, I'm gonna start a team,
Okay.
or someone from a business standpoint go, this baseball thing is pretty lucrative.
Okay.
Let me start an organization, and they don't have the expertise
Okay.
to actually teach.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
that's when I say
I'm glad
broken
you-
at the root.
I'm glad
That's
you
what I
cleared
mean
that
when
up.
I say broken at the root. If someone is going to teach someone something, this
right.
is just my humble opinion. You should be qualified to teach it.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm not going to try to teach somebody Spanish because I'm not qualified to teach Spanish.
Right. Right.
So the other side of this for me, different than basketball, basketball has full scholarships at the collegiate level.
That's right.
Baseball only has 11.7. So when you look at 35 players on a college baseball team and them only having 11.7 scholarships, there are no full baseball scholarships. So let's look at the current system.
Okay.
The current system is set up to where you have 11.7 scholarships.
Okay.
From the time you start playing baseball at 9 years old, 9 years old, select travel baseball on average is costing families $3,000-$4,000 a year. So if you're a family, your son is good at baseball, you're going to pay $4,000 a year for, let's say, 10 years. Now, you get to the end of the rainbow. Let's just say he developed and he's a really good baseball player. Somebody comes through the door and say, okay, we'll give him a 50% scholarship.
Right.
But he's one of the best players. So then, oh, by the way, the family now got to pay another $15,000 a year just for their kid to go to college.
Wow.
So for me, that's what made the educational piece so important. Because now you can combine academic money with athletic money. Now you have name, image, and likeness where kids now can actually capitalize on their own brand. So when you start to put all of those activations together, if you're able to surround kids with people that understand that space, and they're going to give them the proper development and instruction as it relates to the actual sport that they're playing, and going to give them a high caliber private education. I mean, you're checking all the boxes.
That's good.
This is about changing generations to come.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, sports is just a byproduct of what we all do.
Yeah, that's right.
It's the hook.
Yes, sir.
Our real business is developing champions for life.
Life. Yeah.
So we're really preparing them for the biggest game they'll ever play, which is the game of life. We're just using basketball and baseball. You're just using the sport as the common denominator.
Wow. I am so glad somebody text me and who's watching the show asked that question. I'm so glad he asked that question because I wouldn't have had that response from you. That was great information, Bo. Jimmy, what you got? What else you got, Jim?
And speaking of somebody asking questions, we have a couple of questions from viewers right now. And if you're a viewer right now and you have a question for Dr. Andrew Green and or Bo Porter of PSAT, submit your questions on either platform, YouTube or the Facebook. You can share the show right now as well, because somebody that's one of your friends, one of your followers, somebody in one of your groups could definitely probably utilize some of the things they are saying to you guys right now, and they are sharing with you. They're dropping real nuggets today. So now, first question to come from Alex. He asks, Dr. Green, how are you identifying your kids for PSAT? Or are you recruiting away from the public, private home schools or other charter prep schools? Do they have to get an athletic evaluation and an academic evaluation before being accepted?
This summer, we held, I paid for it. We held twice a week at Louetta, free trainings. I felt that idea actually came from DJ. DJ said, "Hey man, let's sow into the whole community. No matter what school they go to, whether they plan on coming here or not, let's train." And by doing that, we were able to identify some kids who wanted something different without saying, "Hey, leave your school." We never told anybody, "Hey, leave your school." We just provided a platform to train kids in the summer instead of them, because you know how it is with basketball. There's not a lot of time for development in AAU. Right. Not even a lot of time for practice. Right. So we provided that space, 2 hours a day, twice a week, for kids to train with DJ and Coach Gamble and Coach Cartier. And by doing that, we were able to it provided its own recruitment platform. Oh, yeah. But kids just was like, hey, I want to continue something like this. So many of them were like, I want to sign up to continue this for the rest of the year and it's into the school year. Right. So that's how we got the majority of our kids like that. Other kids we got because people like Coach Gamble and Coach DJ had relationships with parents who have been wanting something like this. And they were just able to say, hey, this idea has been in Coach Gamble's head for probably over 5 years. Coach DJ, me and him been talking about something similar to this for about at least 3 years. So if we've been thinking about it, think about how many other parents. There's nothing really new under the sun.
Right.
It's just it's really about energy and timing and how God how God just allows pieces to come together. So evaluation wise, a lot of kids were evaluated this summer when it came in. Hey, this kid's really good, needs to develop a lower handle. This kid needs to develop his left hand, a floater or stuff like that. DJ and Gamble were able to see stuff like that. Academically, all kids have to go assess when they come in. So we make sure we put them at the right level. And make sure we're not taking advantage of the fact that the kid really needs to go up a level on math, or go up a level on, they're ready for Spanish too. So that's kind of how it is as far as actively recruiting from other schools. I don't really believe in that. Matter of fact, I just placed a phone call to a coach at another private school last night, letting them know, hey, I wish you well this year. Hey, if you got players, I'm not recruiting them. You know what I'm saying? Out of respect for you, I'm not recruiting them. And we shared a real good conversation because I feel like if we all do our job and educating and training these kids, there's enough kids for all of the programs in this city. We just all have to do our job, and then we can all applaud. The end result is that we get them to college and they can get a combination of merit-based scholarships and athletic scholarships, like Bo was saying, to be able to reach the goal of coming out of college debt-free.
Hello.
That's the goal.
That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to.
I got you. That's a good thing. Debt-free. I got you. Now, Dr. Green, you mentioned earlier that you guys were connected with Carrie Patterson Brown, and she is a founder of another
Legacy School of Sports Science.
Legacy the School of Sports Sciences, which is in spring. And so now you got, what's the difference between PSAT and Legacy? Because I noticed
Legacy is a charter school. Yeah.
Okay.
Legacy is a charter school. So academically, what they do is confined by TEA. It's kind of, the boundaries are, so they can't really do what Bo's going to do. They can't say, hey, half a day kids going to go to school and half a day they're going to spend the half day on development. That got to be TEA not going to go for that. Until TEA goes for something like that, where you can do a custom education that's really geared towards developing Venus and Serena Williams or Tiger Woods in that kind of way, or another Bo Porter, where you in percent of the day in sort of a mixed model, a hybrid model of athletic and academic development. Then they can't really do that in that scene, in that platform, because it is governed by TEA. Whereas we are private, so we can carve out and customize the way we want to package education for athletes that we are trying to do something a little bit different, do it differently, but try to get to the same goal. Which is college.
I like that.
Jimmy, that makes sense. Now we got one for you, Bo. This is somebody sent some good questions. Everybody, a lot of people right now on the Chop Shop. Understand something. This is the time right now.
Yeah.
Pose your questions or forever hold your peace. Regarding this topic.
Yeah, I love it.
Bo, here we go, Bo. This is some good stuff right
here. Here we go, Bo.
I got a couple of questions that people sent me for you. One is, ask Bo, because you mentioned about the Dominican Republic and you went down there and you saw what was going on. They built a brand new facility and 200 people running through there every day, the kids, and they getting a different type of attention. And why does Major League Baseball concentrate on people of color in the Dominican Republic, etc.?
So I'm gonna kind of reword the question. I'm just gonna say, why do they focus on Latin American countries?
Yes.
Which is similar to what they're saying. It comes down to economics, and it comes down to optionality. When you look at the Dominican Republic and the number of kids that they can sign from the Dominican Republic, basically dollar for dollar, as it relates to a kid here in the States, it's apples and oranges. I mean, you can take $1 million to the Dominican Republic, and you may be able to sign 200 players. You get $1 million over it. Jose Altuve signed for $5,000.
That's right.
If Jose Altuve
Really?
was in the States with his talent, he would have been a $2-3 million player because of all the optionality that our kids have here. So when you start to look at buying a kid out, from his college, scholarship, or most kids that are that level of a talent, they're either drafted out of high school, which they're 17 or 18 years old, and if they're that good of a talent, they have a scholarship basically for bargaining power. Whereas if you go over to the Latin American countries, you can sign them at 16. You can't sign a kid at 16 years old in the United States. So now when you start to look at the fact that I can get this kid at 16, I can't get the other kid until he's 18. So now I've already expedited his development 2 years. That's why it's so important. If you are a baseball player, you need to make sure that from your age, I would say from 10 to 16, is the most paramount years of your development. From age 10 to age 16. Because if you don't get the right development in that block, it's going to be very hard to catch up once you fall behind. But that's the reason why there are so many kids signed out of the Latin American countries. You can get them at a younger age, and you can get them from an economic standpoint. You can get them at a lower price point.
But let's talk development. You got something else?
Jimmy, before Bo, I want to bring Bo, the founder of this show. This conversation is so great. Chris Walker, he was in a meeting, but I'm gonna just chime. I'm gonna bring him in just to let y'all know. I didn't want to bring him on. Just want to bring him on. Just Willie.
Yes, Chris got some questions. I know Chris has some questions too.
There he is. He's a little dog. That's Chris Walker, a CBS commentator.
No, Chris can't be in witness protection. You're not gonna ask Bo Porter questions while you look like you're in witness protection.
Hey man, you got to put some light on there, man.
What, man?
Chris,
There you go. There you go.
Email. He didn't get the email.
Oh, he didn't get the email, Chris. He didn't get the email.
You see how well lit I have the academy for you?
Look how, hey, Chris, your back, turn around. Your face need to be toward the window. There you go.
Hey, listen, hey, man.
I'm the producer of the show today, Dr. Green.
Yo, listen,
I'm trying to produce this thing. I know you're in New York.
I'm not trying to get clipped from behind, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
And guess what? You couldn't stand for us being with these illustrious guests without you being. I know. You couldn't stand for us to be on here with Bo Porter and Dr. Green without you being on.
That, and I want to give Jimmy a hard time about the Yankees on a 10-game winning streak. But listen,
okay, they won't beat Atlanta tonight. They won't beat Atlanta tonight. They got lucky yesterday, 5-1.
Yeah.
They won't beat Atlanta tonight. Atlanta's hot too.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
But Chris, do you have any questions for our guest?
No. I just happened to be running around, and obviously I got a lot of respect for Bo, what he did with Houston, and a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of the remnants of what he did was similar to what John Lucas did when he was with the Cavaliers, and then LeBron came. And then I kind of see the similar thing happen with Bo, and look what happened when the Astros took off. So I have my own feelings about that. And Bo knows where I'm coming from when I say that, the development of those guys, and things took off, and he probably wasn't able to see the fruits of his labor. That's a whole nother conversation, not while we're here, but that generally happens to us in sports. And one of those questions, Hatter, I threw at you. It bothers me. I was with Omar Minaya at a wedding, in the Dominican, and I posed that question to him, Bo, and I'd be interested in doing a documentary on it as well. Is like, why the hell in the NBA? I say this in the NBA. There's 39 American white players in the NBA. 39. There's 107 international players. Are you telling me that there are no white players that can play basketball? Yes, the hell is. There's tons of them. The NBA makes a concerted effort to choose international kids. I'm not talking about Luka Doncic, all right? He's a once-in-a-generational talent. Why the hell do you buy the answers already? We could talk about, oh, it's cheaper, or it's this. You're telling me in inner city Chicago, in the city of Houston, where Jimmy and I grew up playing for the Braves over at Rosewater, Smokey Jasper Park. Why the hell Mookie Betts? He's not a unicorn. There's a million Mookie Betts in America. What the hell is going on in this country that says that we can't do it? And that's why I got on. I'm like, this is crazy. I hear this, I know Orlando Cepeda Jr. He's a good friend of mine. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't make sense to me that this continues to happen year after year, where we have talented players like McCutcheons. I don't want to go into all the different guys that are the top of the game.
Oh, no.
That are the top of the game, not the bottom of the game. And yet we're saying we can't develop them. They said the same thing in soccer. Look what's happening in soccer now. To me, it's a concerted effort not to develop them. Yeah, you talk this cheap. I think they're saying, hey, man, we don't want baseball to look like hip-hop. We don't want baseball to look like basketball. We don't want baseball to look like football, in my opinion. It's looking that way. It's just looking that way from a Latin American perspective, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Am I far off base here that it's intentional?
And Chris, I'll add to that. When you look at the starting point of that is the 11.7 scholarships. That's why most of your really good baseball players, majority of us played another sport. I mean, I played football and baseball at University of Iowa. I went to University of Iowa on a football scholarship with the agreement that I was going to be able to play baseball. So if I was to go to Iowa and not play football, it would have cost my mom $40,000 a year. Wow. Guess what? I would not have been going to Iowa. So the system itself is set up to where most people that are coming from economically challenged backgrounds, they look at baseball and they go, even if my kid is the best kid, if I don't have the resources, he's not going to get a full baseball scholarship. So that's where we have to start. That's why education is so important for our minority kids.
But Bo, isn't the best players, they don't pay. The ones that get drafted high, they don't have to pay to go, and they can choose to go to the minors, right? They don't have to go to college, correct?
That is true. That is true. You can be drafted out of high school, and you can go right into the minor leagues. But I will venture to tell you, there's only 20,000 major league players in the history of Major League Baseball. 20,000 of us, which basically don't even make up it only make up half a person in the world. So if we start to sell people going to Major League Baseball, we're selling the wrong pipe dream. What we really need to sell is education, because I would rather get the 99.5% into college and get them graduated where they can go get a job and take care of their family than to be trying to push a 0.5% chance of somebody going to play Major League Baseball. And even if you have a Major League Baseball career, okay, my career ended at 34, and I played for 12 years. But at the end of the day, my life I still had the rest of my life to live.
Yeah.
I was blessed to have a college degree. When the Houston Astros fired me, on my way driving from Minute Maid Park, by the time I hit the remote on my gate at home, I had a call from ESPN, MLB Network, and TBS. All wanted me to come and broadcast. Why? Because I had a degree in broadcasting communication. So at the end of the day, we're dropping the ball in a lot of places. But the number one place we're dropping the ball is marrying baseball with education.
Now, Bo, real quick, because I want to go at Dr. Green about this too, because it's a shop. That's what we do, Doc. What I'm saying is, I'm trying to figure out when Jimmy and I grew up, basketball was not a popular sport. When Jimmy and I grew up, we knew about We Are Family. How many young black kids that play baseball know about We Are Family? No Ray,
Pittsburgh
Davey Lopes. No, I'm just saying those guys.
Willie Starger, baby. Willie Starger, baby.
Yeah, Dave Parker, guys like that. They know. My question is, when did the shift happen? Is it the advent of the NBA becoming popular, or is it because of the decline of the interest in baseball as far as like making sure? Because when I grew up, Jackie Robinson, that was our hero, breaking the color line. That was our hero. It wasn't Dr. J. It was kind of, but it wasn't. It was baseball. It was Joe Garagiola and Don Criqui talking about baseball and This Week in Baseball. That was our growing up. We all want to be baseball players. Then all of a sudden, baseball wasn't a thing anymore. Is it because they stopped divesting in baseball, or is it because the NBA became popular?
Bo, Dr.
Can I take that?
Come on, Bo.
Oh no, both.
Yes. Baseball left the community. It used to be free. It used to be in every community. All you had to pay was a registration fee, $25. Now it's pay to play. They don't have Little League in every community anymore. So if you're living in the inner city and you don't have a baseball league, the only way you get to play is if you sign up for travel baseball. In travel baseball, as we said in the beginning of this show, majority of them are going to be coached by people who are subpar in their teaching. So you can have an above average talent, but you put him with a less of a teacher, that talent is not going to develop properly. So what's happening to most of our baseball kids or our better athletes, and now let's just look at all three sports. Okay. And I played all three, so I'm qualified to say this.
Don't freeze.
It has the most failure. It has the most failure.
Hold on, Bo. Repeat it again because you froze up. Repeat it again.
Okay. I said, let's look at all three of the sports.
Yes, sir.
Football, basketball, and baseball.
Okay.
Baseball is the hardest one. Mm-hmm. It's the hardest sport. It has the most failure.
Yes.
So if you're 9, 10, 11, 12 years old and you haven't had good tutelage, you can be an uber athlete, but now all of a sudden you're swinging and missing and striking out and you don't really know how to use all of your skill sets, it becomes frustrating. And then a kid go, I can go on a basketball court and score 30? I mean,
easy, Bo. Come on now.
Yeah, the success rate for the kid starts to drive them to another sport. And that's why it's so important to get the people that actually know how to teach back into the development of these kids. That's where the ball is being dropped.
Bo,
can I just say? I'm sorry.
No, hold up, Chris. Bo, I totally agree with you because it happened in my family. My son, he didn't have the success immediately in baseball because he was so great in all the other sports. So when he went to baseball, he saw these other little guys he'd been dominating in all the other sports, and these guys are better than him in baseball. He didn't want to play no more.
Exactly.
But here's my problem. Again, I want to pose an education question to Dr. Green. Okay. But Bo, here's my issue. My issue is Jimmy and I have been doing this a long time. I was a coach for 20-something years, and Hatter knows this as well. Mm-hmm. There are more kids out there that should be playing baseball than playing basketball.
Absolutely.
They would actually have a better chance.
Send them over to me.
No, all them do, I'm going to make a declaration. If you rank 50 and below in RCS sports, take your butt over to the academy right now. But here's the thing, Bo. When Jimmy and I grew up, there were no white coaches helping us. Smokey Jackson was an all-black league, right, Jimmy? Mm-hmm. The question is, Bo, are the people in our community not taking baseball seriously?
Bingo.
That's the question. Forget about the outside community. Uh-huh. Yes. What about the mamas and the daddies that don't realize, hey, man, do you understand how much money you can make playing? And I hate to frame it around money, and I like what you guys are doing about education. Mm-hmm. But Dr. Green, I was talking about overtime sports. Are we are we, again, I wrote a book called Elephant in Our Room. And the reason why I wrote that book is that, do black people focus too much on sports? Is that always the starting point for us, that we have to use sports as our only way to get out of the hood? I was watching a document on Obama.
I love to take
he says the only people that we recognize in our community of stature are athletes and rappers, because that's what television portrays. Guys like yourself, Dr. Green, will never know you exist. You like Dustin Wynn, and you're an accomplished man. And if I asked a kid, who would you rather be, LeBron or Obama, what would they say? Obviously LeBron, right? But my thing is, you got a better chance of being Obama, not the President Obama, but maybe going to Harvard Obama, going to Columbia Obama, than you will ever have of being LeBron James. And rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, because I think today is his birthday.
Yesterday.
Doc, are we focused? Yesterday. Are we focusing? I know what you guys are doing, because my uncle used to run a church. And I said, why are y'all building gyms? He says, the hook. We got to get them in. We got to do programs and stuff to get them. We got to reach them, then we can teach them. We can't teach them, then we can reach them. Is that the mindset you guys are having? Because it drives me crazy when I worked at a school like Cal Berkeley, and I would have kids leave. Well, I want more playing time. I'm going to go play at Louisiana Lafayette, or I'm going to go play at Wright State. I'm like, son, do you realize that a billionaire can't get his kid in school? And because you can do a layup, and because you were blessed with height that this other kid or ability wasn't born with, you can go to one of the best schools in the world, and you're going to leave. You have no chance of playing in the pros, and you're going to go to, again, nothing wrong, you're still in higher education. You're going to leave Berkeley, a place that you cannot get into school if you were just doing it on your academic merit. Why is it that we continue to focus so much on freaking sports when you guys know and I know that they almost have zero chance? I can look at a gym full of baseball players and basketball players, a field full of baseball players and a gym full of basketball players, and unequivocally, without even seeing them play, I'll be like, 99 of them ain't going to make it. It don't even matter if I'm 99 of them going to make it. Am I right or wrong?
Well, you know,
Doc,
man, I appreciate that. I was talking to kinfolk last night. I was talking to your kinfolk last night. We were talking about you. We gonna connect.
wow.
But and you know what I'm talking about. But Coach Walker.
Yeah,
But,
he hear you. He on mute because he don't want the music.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I'm just gonna be noise behind me.
I was thinking the other night, if the black community, and I care about all people, whatever, no matter what color, but if the black community had just as much passion or more passion or just equal the passion that we've shown towards sports and our willingness to invest, we would no longer be on the bottom as a race in this country. That is a fact. It's hard to squeeze $65 out of a parent to tell them I'm to put the kid in, because I've done these courses, an ACT prep course, but they'll spend $150 to go to a day camp to get a t-shirt because somebody supposedly was in the building. And you'll see the same thing in basketball. I mean, in baseball, you'll see the same thing in football. We almost have the same sort of psychological problem the peasants had back in the Middle Ages, when you had to be a jester to sort of get out of your class and get up into another class. You had to come before the king and sort of dance and do whatever kind of thing, you tap dance, juggle, do something to show them that you deserve to be raised from this lower level and be raised up in here with us. We almost have that same mentality, and we use sports as that avenue. We don't understand that with education, we can equal. We are on equal playing field with education. We no longer have to just or juggle or do comedy or do something to entertain people for them to feel like we have value. We have to teach kids when they look in the mirror that they have value from the day they're born. And that starts with applauding what they do louder for academics than we do for athletics. Parents lose their voice and their mind in a sporting event. But a kid bring on good grades and it's all okay. Mom, where's that? What did you learn in school? Where's the excitement? Hey, where's the table? Hey, show it to me. But how many points did you score? We are creating that culture in our kids to where they feel like only athletics matters. And what Bo is trying to get at, if y'all ever go down there, those kids, when Bo talks to those kids, they see him as a mentor and as a whole mentor. They speak to him, yes sir, no sir. Bo like jump top. You know, he wraps them with discipline, with character development, and with an importance of education that they are more than an athlete. If parents would do that from the time a kid is born, we wouldn't be having this conversation, Chris. We'd be talking about how many much more, like instead of us talking about who's the top ranked kid in the city, we'd be talking about which degrees that our kids get in some of the highest universities. We don't talk about that. Kids get left when we talk about, oh, this kid was this and this kid was that, this 6'7" kid, but we don't talk about how many of them don't end up doing nothing after we don't build them up, and then they fall down like Humpty Dumpty, and we own to build up somebody else falsely for a 5% chance. When these kids get tucked away, no wonder they do drugs and become violent with their spouses or their significant others, because we build them up to feel like failures because we put them on a path towards failure.
Preach it, Doc.
As the preacher say that they'll get that on the way home, as the preacher says.
You got something to say, Bo?
No, I mean this is great. I mean, I'm honored to be, in the company of each and every last one of you. I mean, I think more parents, like Dr. Green just said, more parents need to realize that sports is just a hook. And I said this to our kids. I gave our kids an assignment the other day, well, about a couple weeks ago. I said, I want you to go home and ask your mom and dad, does everybody at their job get paid the same amount of money? And the reason I sent them home and asked their parents that question is because I told them, I said, we're not collecting talent, we're building an organization. And if we don't teach you anything else, we're going to teach you how to compete, because that's what life is about. And this day and age where everybody get a trophy, everybody play, it's just, one big happy party. That's not what competitive sports is here to teach you. It's here to make you grind. It's here to make you try harder. It's here to make you realize I may not be good today, but I'm going to keep working and I'm going to be better tomorrow. Because the person that's really good at their job, they make more money than the other people. That's the reality. So the person that's really good at playing shortstop, he's going to play more than the other person. The person who's really good at shooting the ball, guess what? He's probably going to play more than you. But you have a chance to do something about that. But the problem that most people have, they're trying to find the perfect situation for their kid. So they jump around and go, okay, he had Pete here, was too competitive. Let me take him over here. Okay, he's playing here. All of a sudden, this kid is getting better, that kid is getting better. Parents see two things. They see their kid and whatever kid take their kid place. That's another one of the problems. Find people who are qualified. I'm gonna stop right here. One of the best kids in our program, and I have not recruited not one kid since we opened this door. And we got over 140 kids in our program in 3 months. I had one kid come through the door. One parent came through the door. I have a meeting and evaluation with all of our kids, and I sit down with the parents before they sign up to be in our program. The dad told me this. He said, Bo, I came in, I knew what I was looking for my son. And you check every box. He said, and at this point, my son's 13 years old. I'm going to get out of the way because I can't teach him what I know you can teach him. And he's all yours. That's when you start to have those conversations, that's when kids have the best chance to reach their full potential. And I'll end right there.
Can I say one thing, Jimmy, before I know Jimmy want to chime in? I want to say one thing. I want to ask Doc a question real quick. And then it will lead into Jimmy. I don't want to say CRT, but are you guys going to do any type of Black history teaching? Because one of the things I believe that's the issue with our community is that because we don't know where we come from, it's hard for us to feel a sense of pride. Because if we knew half the stuff that we overcame, not only overcame, that we actually built in this country, we would have more pride in education, because education is what got us to the ballot box. Education, or the leaders that we follow, from Martin Luther King to Malcolm X, were educated men. We're educated men. So for some reason that got lost in the 70s and 80s and 90s for a lot of different reasons. And the other thing is, along with that question, guys like Jimmy Hicks, guys like Robert Hatter, who's a sports advisor, guys like Jimmy Hicks, who's a sports writer, columnist, X and Z, other sports, ancillary sports outside of actually being on the field, even what Bo does as a broadcaster. Are y'all teaching those things too, or is it just you to make it to the major leagues or bust? Does that make sense, guys?
I was gonna put my kid, my kids are all homeschooled. I was gonna put my kid in a private school. They wanted him to play basketball. I'm not gonna mention the private school. And one of the key questions I wanted to ask him, I said, what are y'all teaching, and what y'all teaching Black history? How are y'all integrating what Blacks have contributed, African Americans have contributed to this society? Well, we do it in this we do it a little bit right here. And I already knew what the answer was, but the coach wanted me to give the school a chance. So I can't mention his name, but I went over there, because he was recruiting my son. But I heard the same thing I knew I was going to hear. I was going to hear that it's a Eurocentric education, and everything they have done great is what's taught to our kids, and none of what we have done is taught. So at PSAT, kids are going to learn Hispanics have contributed, what African Americans have contributed to not just America, but the world. A world view of what we've done, over centuries and decades and eons. And so they don't have to go, purchase books I got a whole list of books that kids can purchase. They'll learn it right in our institution, along with what Europeans have done. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to be a one culture only. But like Coach Walker was saying, it's important. If you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, it's because of how you've been inculcated in society to feel about yourself. So we have to change that, and we have to we almost got to detox, from a health standpoint. We got to detox from a cultural standpoint to help these kids when they do get to an institution where predominantly a lot of the people don't look like them, that they still feel a worth the minute they step on the campus, and sort of a proud feeling like my father gave me. Never was taught ever to feel like I was less than anybody else. Wasn't taught to feel like I was more than, but definitely wasn't taught to feel like I was less than. But that has a lot to do with, like what you were alluding to, Chris.
I'm sorry, Doc. I had to get it. You and Bo y'all got me want to go give me some eligibility. I'm about to go have me another kid.
Chris, we gotta make sure we connect offline, brother.
Oh yeah,
yeah, for sure.
Oh. Now, lastly, what we phase into is, once again, if you just tune into the Chop Shop, we see the guy in the middle down that's Bo Porter, and Bo Porter is very, very visible in the baseball community. At the epic of his career, he was the manager of the Houston Astros. That's right in H-Town. He still resides in H-Town, and he's doing big things. Now, also next to him is Dr. Andrew Green with PSAT. That's Prep Student Athlete Training. Now, here's what I want to ask. You're starting in, of course, the school, as you mentioned we earlier, the differences is you're not under TEA. So you're not governed. That means you got half academic, and you can attribute as much time as you want for athletics for your students. And I think you said you have approximately about 30 students now. And one of the young men I saw looked on the roster, one of the young men played for the Puerto Rican national team that played USA yesterday. He went to Legacy just last year. First, I want to ask you, how did Carrie feel about that kid leaving her school, coming over to your program? And y'all,
I don't know. I don't know how Carrie felt. I haven't talked to Carrie. Obviously, Carrie doesn't want to lose any kids. Carrie, I worked hard with Carrie for 3 years to help her, get that charter going. So anybody that has children doesn't want to lose any child, from a parent standpoint. Mm-hmm. I don't think that decision was actually, there's some decisions that are out of our control. Like Bo felt like that was out of his control when his mama told him, "You're not gonna play this Christmas break." when he came up short of her expectations, but it was the best thing for him. But that choice was made for him. This choice was made for this kid by his parents. And so Legacy didn't get to chime in on it. It was made by his parents. And so
okay, now Doc and Dr. Green, you mentioned earlier you mentioned you didn't say the name, but you said there was another school that you told the director, I'm not gonna take none of your kids. I ain't gonna compete with you.
Right.
So when you talk about the sport of basketball, which is very competitive, especially in regards to in the term they use loosely or sometimes tightly, recruiting, to take the most recruitable student athlete that would probably be in their program, you had the power to say, no, young man, I know you want to come over here, but you need to stay over there. There's good people over there. They're my people. Y'all didn't do that. You say, come on over here.
The difference between this situation is this kid was had already withdrawn. Had already decided. Their family decided they weren't going back there. First of all, it was quite far. So it's different than me actively going over there while he's convinced that this is where he wants to be and trying to tell him, don't go back there. Kids that are looking for situations, we are open to tell them about our program. But I don't want to go, if I had a baseball organization, I don't want to go down to Sienna Plantation and actively get kids that Bo is rearing and say, hey, he's doing a great job. I can do it better if you leave and give me a chance. But if there's kids for various reasons, changing location, changing job, not a good fit, whatever, that are looking for other situations, have decided I'm not going back here, those are the kids we want to entertain. But I don't want to go to Seven Lakes, and I don't want to go to Morton Ranch and different places and sit on games and come here and talk to kids who are happy with their relationship and talk to them about changing that. No, that's not what I want to do ever.
Now I want to pair you and of course Chris Walker, which Chris, and it's amazing how it's a small world when it comes to sports. It really is. It's a very small world. Chris, about 8 years ago or so, you had the Chris Walker Academy, and which is still active. Just that at that time, it was a school, and you had a team up on it, and you based in Houston. You were in the middle of coaching gigs. I think it was right before you went to Cal Berkeley, and you had the Chris Walker Academy, which that arm of your umbrella, they actually gave away a couple of scholarships to the kids from the middle school city championships earlier this year. Gave away $1,000, and want to give you a props for doing that, because a lot of those kids had just got that money and bought school supplies, and as a result of Chris Walker Academy. Now, the Chris Walker Academy, from what your lumps and bumps, Chris, that you took when you were established and dealing with that academy with team players, many of those players went to play high Power 5 or Power 7 Division I basketball. What advice would you have for Dr. Green as he embark into this new territory with his prep student athlete training program?
My program was homeschool, and the one benefit I had was they were already homeschool kids. Okay, so they were accustomed to being in that environment, so I wasn't taking kids away from anything. Now, I would say, being a high level summer basketball coach, and as Jimmy said, I don't know baseball being competitive basketball. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't give a damn about how somebody feels. If I think I have a better way of helping somebody, because you got to realize, Bo and Doc, you guys know more than them. You know more than the parents. You know what I'm saying? Bo can go watch a kid and be like, that kid there got a chance to be a star. And the parent will be listening to some knucklehead, and they'll have the parent's ear. And then Bo's going to have to be like, listen, I got to talk to these people. And people will look at it as recruiting, but Bo is smart enough to be like, you could change your family's life. If that kid right there does this, y'all don't understand. But you know what you have in basketball is they will listen to that other guy. So you have to go wrestle. You have to go wrestle those people. Jimmy, you don't remember Philip McDonald, the kid I had back in the day. Yeah. I had to go snatch that kid from Dr. Shooting and be like, yo, man, listen, if you play with me, you're going to have a chance to go to Kansas. Why are you doing that over there? So I don't have a problem with the recruiting aspect because capitalism is the cornerstone of America. If you see something, I'm just being honest. I don't look at it as snatching kids.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these high school coaches ain't getting it done. They don't meet the level. They're just trying to win district. It's not about scholarships. And if you guys are in a situation you're trying to help kids get to higher education, then so be it. And if you got to teach some parents along the way, crack some eggs and make an omelet, then so be it. Because guess what? What you're doing is the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not a high school coach's job. Exactly. But it's not a high school coach's job to get kids to college. That's not his job. It's to win games. What you guys are doing is something else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And Chris, you cannot
that's a good
be
take.
more right.
That's a good take.
Yes, you cannot be more right. And I'll share this story real quick. Chris Wolf, who came through my program, he was at Willow Ridge High School. It was his sophomore year. And this is when I just started my youth development academy back in 1998, 99. But Chris Wolf was at Willow Ridge High School. One of his friends was playing on my team, and he said, "Hey, I want you to come take a look at my buddy." So I go and I check out the game. He's obviously the best kid on the diamond. I sit there that night after the game, and I talked to him and his mom for 2 hours because the kid didn't want to leave his neighborhood team because it was his friends. I'm telling the mom, listen, your son got a chance, but he's going to have to get away from this, incompetent coaching that he's around right now. Long story short, the mom agreed, you know what, Chris, you're going to go play for Bo. 2 years later, he gets a scholarship to Grambling. 4 years after that, he graduated from college. He gets drafted by the Oakland A's. The kid today is actually one of the coaches in my program. Got a family, a wife, a kid, got a job. He's now back. He's coaching these kids. That's what this is about. Because at the end of the day, his mom, she called me twice. From the day he graduated high school, she called me the day he graduated. He was in tears. My son would have never graduated college if he not played in your program. The day he got drafted, she called me in tears. My son just got drafted by the Oakland A's. This would have never happened had he not come to play in your program. So, Chris, you are spot on. The parents, they don't know what they don't know. And it's our job to actually, we're not really recruiting the kid. You're really recruiting the parent.
Jimbo.
Hey, I mean, this is great combo. You guys know, looking at that clock, we are in extreme overtime.
We can win in overtime.
We can go all day play. Maybe Dr. Green, you might consider coming on back, because then now the next phase is the first phase is doing getting people's attention. I think we fulfilled that mission today.
Yes.
You got the viewers' attention.
Yes.
Now, next phase would be you guys have to consider coming back, and then now you can map out, okay, specifics. How do they get in touch with you? How do they, because you mentioned Coach Porter, you're dealing with a certain age kid, and your kids will go up. You will actually merge and morph into the PSAT school in the year 2022. But right now, your program is called what?
Bo Porter Future All-Stars Baseball. And we got programming from 5 years old all the way to 18.
5 to 18. Can they get in touch with you if somebody is interested in bringing a young man and introducing them to the sport of baseball?
www.boporter, FASB, Future All-Star Baseball, FASB.com. Bo Porter, FASB.com.
And Dr. Green, of course, PSAT, prep, student athlete training. How many sports will you have over there? And then, of course, you have basketball starting this calendar year. And is that the only sport?
That's the one we'll start out with this year. Next year, we'll be bringing on baseball, volleyball, and beach volleyball, as well as golf. So those are the ones we've been on this year.
Okay, all right.
I got a question for Bo. Bo, I got a young fella great football player, great athlete, great football player. Probably he loves baseball better. Lives in the Katy area. His name is Juice Cryer. He's go to Brookshire now. He went to Morton Ranch last year. A kid like that, Bo, that's teetering, cause he gonna blow up in football this year, but he's teetering between baseball, but he loves baseball. I got your number now. I want to make sure I get that parent your number because he's one of the everybody said he got it, but I want to hear what you say about him. But his name Juice Cryer. I'm gonna send you his information. But
okay.
But I am so glad y'all came on this show today, man, because this the kind of people need to know. It's people need to know it's a Dr. Green. This is a Bo Porter. Bo, ain't too many people that did what you done did, Bo. You know, you can be humble about it all you want to. Ain't too many people that did.
Only
Jimmy,
59 blacks have been managers of Major League Baseball teams in the history of professional baseball in the United States of America. Once again, at the top level, we're not counting AAA, AA, or single A, or instructional league. In Major League Baseball, in history, there have only been 59 black managers.
Hello.
And of course, Bo Porter, I have never met you before today. And this is the good thing about the Chop Shop. It gives people an opportunity to introduce their personalities to the community and to viewers. Our viewership is not just limited to Houston.
Yes.
It's not just limited to Texas. It's not just limited to the southern region or the United States. We have viewers from all over the world.
Jimmy, can I interject?
Jimmy, yes, sir.
Can I interject? Bo, a parent just text me from Atlanta who's watching the show, talking about how could do he just stay in Houston? I say he in Houston, but he will help you find somebody in Atlanta.
Let me tell you this. This summer, we had 18 kids from out of state fly here and actually stayed here this summer and played in our program.
Say no more.
From out of state.
She listening right now. Yeah.
Hey, Bo.
So how can she get in touch with? Once again, the website again.
www.boporterfasb.com. Future All Stars Baseball.
Hey, Jimmy.
Should they mention that they saw you on the Chop Shop? There's an email address, there's a contact, the email address that you'll be able to get on the site?
Yes, all the contact information is right there. It comes right to our office, and somebody will get in touch with them immediately.
Dr. Green, how can they get in touch with you about PSAT? Right now, there's a lot of parents out there that might say, you know what, school is started. You know what, my son wants to wear a mask. Everybody else don't want to wear a mask. You know what, the hell with this school. We might want to go on and take this route. How should they get in touch with you?
Hey, well, we're glad to have them. www.psatacademy.com. www.psatacademy.com.
Hey, T-Sheet, I got an idea that's came to my mind, and I wonder what Bo would think about this.
I got one too now. I got one. I'm waiting on Bo. I got
don't
one.
leave Bo alone, man.
I got a great one. I hope nobody don't snitch it. Jimmy, this weekend you just had the Rucker on Wood.
Yeah.
Why can't we have something similar to that in baseball, where we get recruiters to come out and see guys, and Bo is instructing or bringing in the top talent, and just like we do in basketball, we create an avenue for kids to get recruited. Ruck on Wood. Why can't we do a Ruck on Wood in baseball?
You know what?
Let's do it.
Hey, you remember
I have a turf field. I have a turf field being laid back here right now.
I heard about your facility though, Bo.
Yeah.
Somebody just said something about it. It's right by their house. Somebody just said that on the feed.
Hey, Chris, we on to something. Remember, I had the meeting with my old TSU baseball players. Remember last month?
That's
we
right.
met up over at the Bombshells and getting Troy Pradier, Rook, Donovan Campbell, who his son is playing right now at University of Texas.
At UT.
Yeah.
I sent his son to the Hank Aaron Invitational 3 years ago.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, play that straight Jesuit. Do
Hey,
That's right.
Bo,
small world. We all
You need to be doing your own combine, Bo. You're a formula. We could flip this whole game.
Let's
no.
do it,
Hey,
fellas. Let's do
Dr.
it.
Green said you getting his way. Dr. Green said you stay in your lane, Chris. We already
No,
got that
hey,
done. You stay in your
Chris,
lane.
I love it. I love it, Chris.
My bad.
I love it, Chris. I love it.
Man, this is amazing. This is an amazing
So,
show, man.
Anyway, hey, now Dr. Green, guess what, man? Appreciate you guys coming through, chopping up what's on the chop shop. We can go all day, but I got stuff to do. I might have to get, and we want to make sure Coach Bo Porter, hey man, don't be a stranger. We got to get you back. We didn't even talk no Major League Baseball. We didn't even talk no Astros. We didn't talk none of that stuff, man. We supposed to talk about that, man. Come on now. You know
We'll
we're
do it
talk
next
about
time.
that.
I ain't want to talk about him no
We
way.
have to talk about it. Yeah, so exactly. I mean, we got to pick your brain and all that stuff. But anyway, now we want to once again thank everybody for tuning in to the Chop Shop.
Yeah.
And you know the routine. Share the show on your way out the door. Give us a thumbs up if you're on the YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube page, Chop Shop HTX. And once again, we're here Monday through Thursday, 12 to 2. This is the Chop Shop. If you're a first-time viewer, we welcome you to come on back.
Yeah.
Bring somebody with you tomorrow. Women Rock Wednesday.
That's
on
right.
tomorrow. A lot of the conversation is going to be hot. And once again, we end reminding you as we begin. Today's show is dedicated to Irvin Big E Davis from the Dallas Showtime grassroots basketball program and a pioneer in grassroots basketball in the state of Texas. He passed away on yesterday. If you haven't heard, it's a tragic announcement, and we hate to be the bearer of bad news on that, but man, Big E is being missed already. And of course, don't forget the funeral for Cynthia Guillory. She was a pioneer in basketball in the DFW area. She lives in Fort Worth. Her funeral services will be Saturday morning, 11 o'clock. And we have that info posted on the website, rcssports.com. That's rcssports.com. See, Walk, I know you go all day. We ain't gonna let you keep us at the 3 o'clock.
No,
I'm out of here. I'll see y'all later, man. Hey, let's make sure we all connect for sure.
I got you. I'm up. Bo,
Right now,
I got you.
It's time to slide down Dino's. It's time to slide down Dino's back and yabba dabba do this thing on this. Robert Haller, Chris Walker, this Jim Hicks. Peace. We up out of here. Chop shop.
All right, fellas.
Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter, you are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop.